As we take a look at the current crop circles for the June-July 2013 period of time, they are quite unique and detailed. They are not just for our own beauty to look at their wonderful intricacies. They are actually pictographic, detailed information for us about the impending events on the planet. This sequence, as you'll see, is actually depicting our own version of Einstein's theory of relativity, including the wormhole and gravitational webbing that we always see. And they've done it in two-dimensional style. And they show us through the opening that is that wormhole in that two-dimensional level as we hit that unique alignment. Now, it's interesting because everybody wants to attribute it to sacred geometry and Fibonacci sequences, but everything on the planet, in fact, throughout the cosmos, is part of those sequences, Fibonacci sequences and sacred geometry. So here, what we see is what our depiction of is Earth going through the wormhole, which is this galactic center that we always talk about. And we see this in the crop circle, showing that as we get through the alignment of the sun and the center circle, Nibiru, or the brown dwarf star, or Planet X, and then the inner circle, the Earth herself, as she pummels through, and those perhaps would represent moons or a time frame for us coming soon, that we will be entering that galactic center. And we know that when we go through that particular center, it has its own field or its own rules as well. And that time bends, or time is fractured at that point as she touches and enters that arena. Now, as we go on, we see another crop circle. And this is a two-dimensional, again, of concentric circles. But as we see them, they're not equal in distance apart. They're actually like a coil, and if we look closer, it actually matches that, again, Einsteinian sequence of the relativity wormhole sequences, that webbing that we draw all the time, and here just represented with circles. And as we see, we know that as the Earth goes closer into that center, as she normally goes in her natural cyclic pattern, all items are drawn with her in a gravitational way. And all items around, other planets in our solar system, other pieces or bodies in our solar system, go through that sequence as well, go through that galactic center. This is a natural and normal sequence for Earth herself. And so they've shown us in depicting these in the circular sequences of the crop circles. Now, as we continue, we see the newest ones, the compass. It's an actual north and south and east and west. It's our own compass. But you see they're indicating less indication at the top, which is north, and showing a larger indication at the south, showing that's the greatest point of movement or the greatest emphasis at the South Pole, relatively compared to what's happening at our own present North Pole. We will see a greater change at our southernmost regions. And literally what we'll see is this change or flipping that I've talked about before in previous videos, that literally we will see the Earth change on her axis yet once again. Now, it's an amazing thing when we see it once again, because we see that they're also trying to show us past that time, when they're showing us out in our own time clocks or sundials. And we see a representation of that, telling us, look behind as we're going through the center. But our sundial, we have very little time. We're running out of time. The bottom side of that sundial is actually showing that we're running out of time. Very little sand left in the top. And as we go on, we notice more crop circles from previous years, 2011, 2009, showing the serpent, or the wormhole we call it, that distance of travel that is based on the universal principles of time, not Earth time. And so everything changes as we enter that center. And it's always been depicted as a wormhole, we call it, but back through ancient history, we'll still see it as such. It's represented with a pointed head, and oddly enough, they show, and this was done by Red Colley, literally, this is showing Inke's head from the time before Samaria, telling Noah, literally. And here's the snake body underneath in that pictogram. But in the crop circle, you see it represented, telling Noah about the oncoming cataclysmic events and trying to show him what's happening in the cosmos with that dial he has, Inke has. And now, of course, we're going to see what we've been seeing as actual compasses. And what I've been saying since 2003 about the indicator for the sun setting in the northwest instead of the west. Oh, she may change her angle from summer to fall or season to season. However, all of it is centered in this northwest region. The sun is now setting in the northwest because she's already changed her North Pole location. And as we move along, we see more crop circles that now depict the new version of the Mayan calendar, saying the ancient Maya were trying to tell us this is the time we always go through as a natural cycle. Not to be worried, as a natural cycle we go through. And it nearly matches the one we saw in May, about the May 20th crop circle in 2011-2012, about the Mayan calendar, the ancient calendar. This is the ancient Mayans giving us this information, not the contemporary Maya. Now, this is important to note as well. We see this new crop circle, and it's absolutely showing a pulsation, which is shown in the first glyph as well. That fourth dimensional level we're going to on the rod in the center, showing us ratcheting up or shifting to that fourth of the planet herself, as we included those that come through, literally shifting to that fourth dimensional level. Now, as we go on, we've been seeing a lot of the sacred geometry of the flower of life, letting us know all is well, all is as it should be, all is natural and normal in Earth's cycle, as this is her pattern and is her history. It is just we haven't been told this information. So as we look forward through our home planet's journey through the galactic center, we need to be calmed. We need to understand what is actually happening and finally make real and proper preparation for these major changes that will affect the entire planet, the entire solar system, as she peaks and goes through the galactic center, as she does every 26,000 years. But we on the planet are supposed to remember on a soul level what we promised to do, where we promised to be, and how we promise to rebuild after this segment of events for our future. So as we see, science is finally catching up to realize this is a natural sequence of events on our planet. We have maps from the 1500s that show the Arctic Circle with no ice. And as we see with Google Maps of today, the Arctic ice is melting. So it's important to note, you must realize and understand. Edgar Casey talked about the present pole star, or Polaris, that the future pole star would be Vega, and the prior pole star during the age of Egypt was Tuban. So it's a very important point to note. This has happened many, many times on the Earth, and our brethren or brothers and sisters throughout the universe are trying to help us to make proper preparation for our everyday carry, what we use personally, what we need to evacuate, how we need to prepare our homes in a way, and long-term, and that means new structures in new placements for them to last through this major change hitting our planet, so we don't end up in worse situations than these destructions that we've been seeing exponentially advance on our planet in the last few months, last few weeks, that continue to be on the rise. We need to make strong, firm plans past what our governments are showing or sharing with us. You need to visit, if you are interested, to onlyonePlan.com or inthesecretgarden.com for more information. And please listen to my radio show, Beyond the Here and Now, at indie100.com worldwide. Thank you.